trip for me, and I have to watch the time. Lord, help me to share what you want me to share. Everything that everybody said, and it really was just a trip of faith, because I felt, Kathy and I prayed, it's so awesome to have someone to agree with, who is going to believe and not give way to fear. And we need to be strong and courageous, and not let doubt set in, because we had many reasons to doubt. There were some blessings that confirmed to us. When Kathy first brought up Japan, Dr. Ayabe, our sewing ministry was right behind it, right on top of it. It was like, Kathy, this is going to have to be God. But for me, it had to be God, because for me, sorry, my kids hate to see me cry, but I do it all the time. For me, Japan represents a lot of my sin. And in a way, in the world, I was on the top in my life. But spiritually, I was corrupt. And Verna kept saying that, oh, this is your dream to go back. I remember you told me, and I thought, God, when did I ever say that? Because I have dreaded going back to Japan. I hate who I was there. I got lost in Japan. But it's funny because it's bittersweet. I found the Lord and I found my husband. And for me, God was doing a miracle, because we really did end up in Japan on the day that Tom and I met, or went on our first date. And we eloped on October 1st, and that was the original date that we were supposed to go back. I never even thought about that. We always celebrate November. I just happened to find a paper that said October 4th was our first date. We ended up leaving here October 3rd, and we got to Japan October 4th, and I knew that God was saying, you know, there was all these things. We had no money. No money! We walked by faith, and this is, you know what? I realized something that I've grown accustomed to living this way, where God meets us there, and He treats you like kings and queens if you just dare to believe Him. And I have no complaints. I have traveled and done so many things like a queen, all through His power. And so there were these little things that were confirming. Someone had blessed Tom with $1,000, right like in the nick of time. Okay? Another woman had given him $200 on the plane. These free tickets. When Kathy first told me that the night before that looks like we're only going to get 5 tickets, I'm like, no way, Kathy. God would not do that. It originated with them, and then He's going to make them pay and us go for free. And then I was thinking, okay, well then we just won't go. But I just couldn't see Kathy and Mary and Jackie and Brandy by themselves doing missions. I was like, we were supposed to be a part of that. So God, it's got to be You. So we just prayed. Every single time. No negativity, just we prayed and we believed. God, You brought us this far, we're going all the way. And we're going to live like we believe You. We're not going to talk about how good You are and how faithful You are. We're going to live it. And we did. And we lived it, and you cannot even, we scratched the surface of what happened in Japan. It was amazing, amazing. And our kids got to be a part of it and see it. And you know what? I loved it because they didn't even doubt. If you live like you believe, your kids are going to follow suit. And those guys, I was so impressed. They didn't go, yeah. They were just like, okay, we're just going to show up, you know? There's so much more to say, but when I finally got to Japan, and we stayed in a dojo, and we worked hard, and we loved hard, and it was so awesome. And for me, when I was in Japan, I wasn't like a famous movie star, but I definitely had my own television show. I got into a place where people would recognize me and ask me for autographs. I was a model, so everything was kind of like, it was the opposite. Like we would go into clubs and they would serve you because they wanted the models, they wanted the foreigners to come to the club, so it would cause the Japanese people to want to come. So everything, everywhere we went was free. So they kind of catered to you. No, I was going back, I'm nobody, I'm old, I'm almost 50. And I got to go into the houses
and serve the people. It was so unbelievable. It was so opposite, and it was so awesome. And then the part that really grabbed me was when we finally got to bring our kids to Tokyo. We were going to spend 1 night or 2, 1.5 in Tokyo. And we wanted to take them to Roppongi, because that's where Tom and I met. Drunk, walking down the streets of Roppongi. And we told these stories and everything, and we went back to Roppongi, and I...
You were drunk.
I didn't believe. I know God, you were drunk. I was drunk. But what was amazing is that it was such a city. I was a little local girl that went to Japan, huge city. I never thought to myself that it could become more city. 25 years later, of course it would. It got modernized. This Japan became even more modernized. So we walked down the streets of Roppongi and we were kind of getting lost. I knew this place like the back of my hand. That was like actually my very dark days there. But that's where I met my bright light, my husband. And we kind of got lost. We all turned around. Nothing was familiar. We went to this club that I used to go to all the time. It was kind of an underground club. And we get there and it's like all broken down. There's like nothing there. The guy who was working next door, he's like, never heard of it. So it was kind of disappointing to me, in some ways, like, oh, everything has changed. Nothing is familiar. I don't even... And then, as I was thinking about it, and I mentioned it to Kathy, it's like, nothing is familiar. Nothing is the same. It's all gone. And she had the same revelation that he said, it's all gone. Yeah. And it's so great. He had to bring me halfway around the world, like he said, to show me that he remembers me seeing the Lord. And I've been carrying it around. You think you forgive yourself. You think that you don't remember, but the Lord is just making a point that He has washed me in white as snow, and He remembers those things no more. It's in the sea of forgetfulness. So I hope I can take that to you guys tonight. That whatever you've done in your past, when you've come to know the Lord and you've asked Him for forgiveness, He wipes them clean. That you are no longer able to go back there anymore. I was trying to go back. You can't go back. Hallelujah. So, I was trying to say that the Japanese people are so loved by God. So precious. You couldn't outgive them. We were just wanting to go and serve, and that Suzuki-san, she was cooking, trying to cook for us, and trying to give us all omiyage, all giving us gifts, and we're just like, no, it's like we're looking at our devastation. Please don't give us anything. But they all are so, that's in their culture, is to say thank you. But this is another thing, is we have to learn how to receive as well, and not saying that against the Japanese people, but that was so recognizable to us, especially in Hawaii. But the Lord, when He wants to bless, you cannot say, no, let me give you something back. We cannot give God back what He has given us. And so we do have to learn how to just say, receive and say thank you, and just be blessed. Because that is God's heart for us. I pray that we can go back and go into many different places. And I pray that you guys pray about how God has gifted you. You may not be able to go. Some people blessed us financially to be able to go. You may be able to go to be a part of that. You may be able to make music, make a song for Japan or whatever. I don't know, but God is an awesome God. And if you really start to pray, Lord, how can I go out to the nations and take your name to the nations? And don't put Him in a box, and be willing to go. And like they all said, we are so blessed. We are a blessed people. And Emily had shared with me too that, it's not, it can happen to us at any minute that God can devastate our lives. And you know what, you guys? That's how much He loves us. That He's willing to devastate our lives, that we might look up and know that He is God. So